Forms are the backbone of the internet, but at some point you realize that all web forms just look the same to you. Old-fashioned, boring, and plain. Filling out boring forms all day long can easily bring down your mood. If only there's a way for you to enjoy filling out forms again. Say no more. That's why I created FormFun. FormFun is a Chrome extension that brings back joy to the internet. Enjoy filling out forms and celebrate form submissions with confetti. Because everything is better with confetti. Alright, enough with bad infomercials. Hello everyone, my name is David, this is DPI Tech. At this point you're probably here wondering why would anyone build out such a stupid Chrome extensions? Well, let me explain. I found this pretty cool Canvas Confetti JavaScript library and I wanted to use it for something. And I'm also a big fan of Chrome extensions because it allows you to add custom functionality to existing websites. And this is where we are right now. Canvas Confetti, Chrome extensions. This Chrome extension is going to be fairly easy to build, and while it might not be as useful, it will give you a basic understanding of how to develop Chrome extensions that can modify existing websites, and I will leave more sophisticated and useful ideas up to your imagination. Chrome extensions can be developed locally, and the only thing we need is to create a new directory and start building. To keep it easy for now, we will just download the Canvas Confetti library I mentioned earlier from a CDN to our directory using wget and specify the file name confetti.js. Each extension is defined by its manifest file, which is just a simple JSON file that contains definitions such as the name, description, version, and certain permissions that your extension requires to run. We can simply start by just copying the example manifest from the Getting Started guide on the Chrome Developer Hub and edit the name and description. For our extension, we want to modify the behavior of existing websites, which is done by using so-called content scripts that run in the context of websites. In order to do so, we need to define our content scripts in the manifest through the content scripts property. We will be adding two files, confetti.js, the library we just downloaded, and content.js, which is going to be the file where we implement the logic to render confettis on each button click. Content scripts have a concept of match patterns, which is a definition of a pattern on which sites these content scripts should be executed. In our case, we want to include them in all websites, so we are going to define a complete wildcard match pattern which includes all schemes like HTTP and HTTPS, all host domains, and all paths on any given website. Once we have defined everything in our manifest.json file, we can go ahead and implement the actual logic, which we will be doing in a new file called content.js. We will start with a simple click handler function that creates a new confetti canvas from the library we downloaded earlier and add some standard parameters. Since we want the confetti to launch in a certain spot, which is the exact spot where the user clicked, we need to calculate the coordinates from the click events client X and client Y property and divide it by the inner window's width and height to get the correct origin coordinate for our confetti library. Next, we want to call this click handler whenever a button-like element is clicked. We can do that by using a query selector all that contains a list of everything we consider button-like. In my case, that's the HTML button element, an input submit element, and an HTML link element. Then we attach a click event listener to each of these elements and call the click handler we defined earlier when the event listener is triggered. A quick note here, the query selector returns a node list, and some older browsers don't support .for-each for node lists. So if you run an older browser, you can alternatively use a for loop instead of the for-each. To make it a little bit more exciting and even more cheerful when someone clicks the button, we also want to play a party horn on each of these button clicks. We can do this by using JavaScript's audio API. We just need a publicly accessible audio file URL, which can, for example, be hosted on a Github repository, and pass that URL to the new audio constructor. This will just create a new audio element, but it does not actually play it. To play the sound, we create a new function called playSound, which just calls the play function on that element. We also want to make sure that when someone clicks buttons really fast, to stop the current play and restart the audio from the beginning. And we can do that by simply checking if the audio is not paused, which means it's currently playing, and then just pause it and reset the audio time to 0, which lets it start from the beginning. Lastly, we call this play sound function on the click handler to play the audio on each button click. And that's already all we need to do on the implementation side. Easy, right? Last thing, we want to add this extension to Chrome, and the easiest way to do that is by going to the Chrome Extensions Manage page, enable the developer mode, click the Load Unpacked button on the top left, and select our folder from the file system. And that's it. Now you've got crazy confetti and party horn sounds all over the place. You're welcome. Alright, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching until the end, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed building it. Code is on GitHub, link is in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any ideas or topics you want me to cover in the future, feel free to share it in the comments. Thanks again, this is TPI Tech, I'm David, see you soon, bye.